Hello, subscribers. I want to first thank everyone who has come out and actually listened to some of my videos. Thank you so much for your likes, and most importantly, thank you for subscribing. Unfortunately, I've learned that if someone subscribes at first and then they unsubscribe, um, that those subscriptions no longer count. So numbers have risen and fallen. But I do appreciate some people are worried that to hit subscribe means they're going to be charged a financial amount, and that's not what a subscription is. But those of you who have stayed with me, um, you probably already know this, and I just wanted to let you know so we could spread the word. I know some of you out there are people that know me face to face, or I have lived in the same town with you at some time in our lives as roommates or neighbors or coworkers and family. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to get started in a new path and to start a journey and potentially turning this into what I hope will be at least a part time job and training to perhaps get noticed and get other jobs. And for those of you who have never met me in person, thank you, my Facebook friends. You have always been a source of comfort to me. Um, and while we may not have ever shared a meal together at the same table yet, thank you so much for coming out and supporting me. You didn't have to, so it means so much to me that you have also given me this chance. You were all my very first subscribers. I'm hoping to reach 1,000 subscribers. We're right now at a very modest 16 people, but I thought that you deserve to have one exclusive video dedicated just to you, because I do really want to give you my thanks. And to all my original guildies from my original guild, you have known me for 10 years as Venus Kalida, the guild master of a horde guild in the World of Warcraft, and our guild, Avitus Valitus, AV. I've been V for you for such a long time, and unfortunately, in the past couple of years, with the different expansions, many of us have moved on to deal with real life. I mean, we were kids when we started this together, and we're all a little bit older now. And, since 18 plus and extra pluses for some of us, we really, had such great times together. We carried each other through hard times. We were emotional supports and sources of de stressing and fun and laughter and really, truly emotional support going through all of the firsts in life, kind of growing up together, although online. For me, many of you who actually know me know that I've traveled a lot. I've spent many years in isolated places where there were very few humans and not much to do. So the internet being new and being unreliable up in the north, and I mean north of 60, I mean polar bears and tundra and ice flows and ravens with muscles like you wouldn't believe. Um, you really were my lifeline in such isolated places. And so, being in the city now, and ironically moving to a city right before COVID hit, for a lot of us, isolation has hit big. And even when you're living in big cities, I found it's easy to be isolated and even have more privacy because everyone's too busy with so many important things. So I really felt like maybe um, becoming a VTuber would be a good idea to reach out, to have a new way to revitalize my persona online as Venus or V, for those of you who know me, and a way to keep in touch with my ex gamer friends as we move on into other things. Yes, I still have the guild, but as we know, it's gone quiet. But I really love this character. I love this avatar, and I'm giving her a new life. And some of you will remember back in the early days, I really couldn't wrap my head around video games or how you could play them for hours on end until I started pulling out a journal and writing backstories for each of my characters. And some of you were involved in posing for many a screenshot, just in case I ever did get my novels published through the Blizzard universe. And things just didn't go in that direction. To be honest, these stories that I'm holding back, the really juicy, fun stories that would be more entertaining and possibly catch a lot more subscribers, they are on the back burner. And they are pieces left over from the three novels, the trilogy, the Trivenae, that I originally wrote for Venus, and Baby V, for those of you who know my online persona, and also for Frix Eterna, which is the other one from the alternative realm. Back in the days when realms would go down, you'd hop on a different one to keep playing. And this is taking a little bit from the roleplay realms as well. So for those of you who know about that, those few of you who have subscribed for me, thank you, my original guildies. Thank you, my original officers, for still being with me on this other different life journey. We know I pulled some of you into some real world dailies as well. But this is one I hope that will stick. And I'm hoping to build this one up. And I'm hoping that in the real world, I'll be able to reach the subscriber um, public that I'm hoping for to monetize and get this character into cosplay and get her out into the real world cosplay events and conventions where maybe I'll meet some of my other subscribers who I haven't had that meal with yet in person. And that's my hope. Those of you out there who were my very first subscribers, you know that this was part of my longer range plan. And I do promise I'm holding back some very interesting stories. I just found that as times changed and as technologies have changed, and since the pandemic kept us in our homes for a little bit this past couple of years, I don't feel like paperback novels are the way to go to earn a living. Um, I have friends and subscribers here who are authors in their own right and editors professionally, and I just know that perhaps that's not the direction that I can go. And so I'm trying this other avenue first. And it's something I've seen other friends doing. And over the past 10 years, I regret that I didn't listen to my guildies and do this a lot sooner. But I really didn't understand the industry. And I really was living where if the wind blew and the satellite moved on top of the roof, no one had internet. We really did live a physical life. And now that I'm finally in the city to stay for good after all of this time, I'm investing in the equipment little by little. I'm teaching myself how to create these videos using whatever skill I have. And I'm learning quickly that though I always sketch by hand and I was comfortable turning my sketches into art through other mediums, the tablet is not my thing. So I do have a mother artist for an avatar that's coming out. It was supposed to be here earlier, but life happens for everybody. And so we're waiting. I'm a little nervous about when it will actually be ready because I've learned the rigging will take an extra month, and I'm a little bit worried about missing the advertising window because I hear in January YouTube does not monetize people. Advertisers are not looking at that time. We really need to hit that November, December holiday rush for shoppers. And so that is why I started creating the first videos that you have seen and subscribed to. So that is why I am super excited that I've attracted anyone at all to what I'm offering at this time. But my hope is that my main videos, the things I go live with, will be the entertaining stories of my Frost Death Knight without trying to plagiarize um, the origin sources of characters from video games. But I really did write backstories, and I really did have a trilogy of novels about three particular relatives who were caught in a war zone, found that they were separated from their families, their villages, and as young girls, they had to survive. And I wrote it injecting parts of my real life into these characters. I was a young girl traveling a lot for work, on her own, and I've lived in some places that weren't very nice, and I've survived a few things that aren't very nice. And so I'm coming into a different stage of life where I've realized I did enough of the right things to survive. I sometimes found it very hard to survive and relied on reaching out to my friends. Some of you are my subscribers right now, so you know the backstories. And geez, I have as many scars as my battle-hardened warrior does. So if we were to meet in real life, if that were a thing, we could look each other in the eye and say, well, at least if you're making me go out to all these war zones, you've got as many scars as I do. So we have that understanding. And I just feel like there's so many people out there struggling with different things: physical, mental, emotional, psychological, health, things they didn't choose, things that people did to them, things that happened despite trying to do everything right. And I know how hard it is for people to sometimes pull through, even when you're surrounded by people, even when we forget to acknowledge it would hurt them if we left this world, if we gave up on ourselves. And sometimes we really need to feel like the people around us haven't given up on us, where we do cave in and give up on ourselves. And I'm hoping that the videos I make will be a public service. I'm hoping that I can reach out and say, please don't hurt yourself. Please redirect the feelings and the impulses you have. Be on your own side. I had to be strong enough to get that through my own head. I have, in the feedback from other young people out there who have crossed paths in life with me, know that I have prevented some few people from hurting themselves in very hard times. And so some of my videos are injecting real pieces of conversations I've had that were successful with someone. And I know we're all different and no one wants to feel preached to, but I just want you to know if there's something you're struggling with. I might have struggled with this, or I might be struggling with it as well. And I want you to know that while your situation is absolutely unique from mine, I feel like I've been through a lot, that, and I'm still standing. And whatever else, however ugliness went on for me to be here, however disheveled I might be today, I'm still believing that my life is worth something to be here. And I want you to believe that about yourself. I want you to know that whether we have sat shoulder to shoulder or not, you matter. I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know that if the only thing you can do today is just focus on breathing, because that can be difficult. I mean, if you've had asthma, if you've had a collapsed lung, I have. Um, if you're panicking, if you're going into an anxiety attack, my goodness, the different things that we go through can challenge our breathing. And if we can try to practice and get that control of our mind over our body and try to get through that panic, just remember anything can be gotten through. Everything will last for only a certain amount of time and something will change. And we're trying to hang in there for those changes to bring better and more choices. And we always have more choices and more power than we give ourselves credit for. So I'm hoping that in my videos, um, the avatar, of course, with live shows will be more entertaining, but in the videos where right now it's become just a picture and a voice and some background noise, and I will be also trying out music. Please, as my subscribers, give me suggestions for your favorite types of music or background noises so that I know what would suit your moods best, what works best for you. And I know one of my subscribers out there, a very dear friend, um, you and I both struggle with sleeping, having fitful sleep. insomnia, and we're both different. I like having music. Music keeps you awake, so I'm dabbling with both styles to come up with alternatives so that maybe there's something I do right for you, my listener. And finally, I wanted to just give you the background because I haven't been able to do a proper debut of my avatar yet because it's not ready. And I just needed my presence on YouTube so that I could work towards being monetized in the period of the year where advertisers are looking for sources through the YouTube videos. So, my hope is that I will be tailoring some of my self care, hang around and chat videos to your suggestions and requests. And I'll always inject a little bit of my real self into it, although I connect my real self and my character, my avatar to be Venus Kalita, um, closely at times because I have had 10 years in Steam and in the World of Warcraft, on Ventrilo, with my friends who are out there, my original guildmates and officers. We kind of grew up together online. Many of us have met face to face in person, across country and across borders to meet. And I'm so excited for what this can possibly bring if I can turn this over into something that I can monetize and try to create a part time job out of it, so that I can add something that I like to do into my everyday, which is part of what my videos are trying to remind everyone else to do for themselves as well. So I hope you'll have fun watching me grow on this journey. Very happy to receive feedback, and for all of the feedback I have received behind closed doors, not through the comments area, but just face to face or with a telephone call or with a chat online. I appreciate it, and you'll notice that in each video that I made next, I try to incorporate that change just to dabble with, is this working? Finally, I want you to know I am actually putting binaural beats into any of the self care or the sleep aid videos or the be happy videos. So I am trying to learn about binaural beats. I'm also messing around with creating my own um, lo-fi chill hop songs to use as background music. I'm not there yet. I did grow up playing piano, but again, doing something with my two hands, which is what I'm comfortable with, is very different than when you have to use a synthesizer through a computer instead of the real object. Just as I found drawing by hand is different from using a tablet. It makes me feel really blind and out of touch. I really like working with my hands, so I'm a touchy-feely person, and um, trying to speak to these different senses in these videos to make them more interesting is something I'm trying to be mindful of. Anyways, I've blathered a lot. I hope this gives you some insight, and I now remember what it is I wanted to tell you before. Because I haven't done the proper debut, you may come into this not understanding the very first videos in Brave and Mortal Souls playlist. The idea is, in video games, when you die, you have a spirit or a soul that has to run back through the environment and get back into its body. A resurrection or resuscitation, as you will. And so the whole journey there in that playlist is the mortal soul, the brave and mortal soul. My core personality is running around trying to find its body so I can get back in and get back to my life. Just like when we go through passing out or having a coma and being resuscitated, or maybe having to be knocked out for a surgery and then you have to be brought back. Sometimes they medically put you to sleep, and you wake up later when you have to make decisions before operations or because operations didn't work out. I've been through all of this, and again, so another thing that I feel I can tell you I understand if you've been through these things, recoveries, pain, injuries, permanent nerve damage. You'll hear me discuss things like this in brief. I'm just here to say I have that experience too. So I kind of think I know sort of what you're going through when I'm trying to offer strategies and techniques to try to help. Um, these are things I've actually done, actually tried out with other people as well. They're just things to explore, and I mention them because maybe not everybody works in a realm where you come across this type of information, and this might be the place where you can get it from. I'm not at all a doctor. Um, I'm just a person, but I'm a person with a stubborn willpower and a staying power. And no matter how much I've been bullied, and no matter how much I've been hurt, no matter how much physical pain I'm in, one thing that I've stuck to is not allowing other people to tell me that I'm not worth being here, or to tell me to get rid of myself or get out of the way for other people. I won't do that. And in fact, I'm so stubborn, I'll just take another breath just to spite that mean person getting that piece of oxygen. Honestly, it sounds awful. I'm just a person, but I'm a person who has had to look myself in the mirror a few times and say, it's a lot easier to talk about all these things we're pro and all these things we're con when we live in a big city and don't actually have to face those problems face to face directly ourselves without the support of the police or an institution with an HR department. I'm coming from the places where it's kind of like that Walking Tall movie. I'm coming from the places where police and RCMP are not allowed to put a foot on the ground in the territory I'm living. I'm coming from communities that, while wonderful people are there and wonderful children are there aren't a lot of jobs. Poverty is a thing. Addictions are a thing. And even with changing laws over the past, I don't want to give away my actual age, but I will say that from a young age, I learned very quickly that different cultures result in different mindsets about life. And depending on where you live on this planet, the environment you're living in can dictate quite a lot. And I've lived in the places where you have to be dropped in with a plane or airlifted with a helicopter if you need a doctor, because there isn't one. And you better be able to know how to handle yourself, because, and especially if you're there on your own and a visible minority, but that doesn't necessarily mean a particular color of skin, because in different parts of the world, different skin tones, different cultures are the majority and other people are the minority. And I have been the minority and a female and a small female. I really had to have my wits about me and really know who I was, and really know what I believed in, and stand tall and firm and be willing to show crazy, because believe it or not, you have to be willing to show some crazy for a line to be drawn to make sure that you're respected. I mean, the rules are different in different places. I'm just not coming from the normal suburban routine from a first world nation. That's not where I've spent the last half of my life. And that's not where my parents were born either. So, in not giving any of that away, I just want you to know where I'm coming from when I'm presenting to you these different videos. It's not at all meant to make anyone feel bad or challenge them or nag them or judge them. Not at all. I just want you to care enough about your life that you will keep going. And if there's anything going on that you wish you could change, find the strength. And I hope that I can be a source to support that. And again, I come back to breathing techniques a lot, because sometimes, if that's the only thing we can do to function today, I just want you to be here. I really do believe, and in every video where I say this, we have to outlast, like those Survivor TV shows, outlast. You need to last. Give yourself that chance because things change. And you need to be there for when those changes will be advantageous to you. You need to be there when those changes could just be the thing you've been waiting for or working toward. You can't know that wonderful thing if you're not there. I want you to be there. And so, if you don't feel like there's anyone out there that you look in the eye every day in your corner, I am, in the way that I can be, here in your corner, rooting for you. Know that you're enough. Know that even though we haven't necessarily met, although the subscribers I have right now, most of you know who I am, but for those of you who we haven't met face to face yet, I want you to know that I sincerely do care for every single one of us, including myself, and I want you to pull through. And so, if you're bored, if you're tired, if you just want to hear some brainstorming for ideas of things to do today, come on over and listen to my videos. You're very welcome to be here in my virtual world in a emotionally positive, supportive role. And I just want you to also be there in your own corner. Don't forget to be there for you. Don't forget to take care of you. And if I can say, don't let people make you feel guilty for actually saying no or speaking out or supporting yourself. Take care of yourself. And what I want to do right now is a very healthy habit. I want to raise a glass to you, every single one of you out there who's given me the first step of encouragement to follow this hopeful dream I have as a new and up and coming VTuber. I know the style of what I'm looking for is not the most popular thing out there, but I feel like we don't get enough encouragement. We don't recognize all of the support we have in our lives. And if we feel really, truly, stubbornly that we don't have it from the people whose opinions we care most about, know that you're getting it from me here in this way. This is the way that I can reach you. And I sincerely wish you the best. And I'm raising my glass of water. I love ice water. It makes me feel clean. It helps me to protect my organ health, which I really need to do. It keeps my brain alert and it just feels good. I just really like it. So I raise my glass to all of you, my first subscribers, and I thank you so much for this supportive step that you've given me. It's a gift and it's encouraging me to keep going. And thank you so very much to all of you. You are precious to me. Your souls are precious to me. If you believe in souls, I equate a soul with your core personality, those electric firing neurons in our brains. We could think of it on a more ethereal or religious plane as well, but whatever we equate to, when I say the word soul, I mean you. You, as you know yourself, here and now. And I wish you the best. Thank you, everybody, for being my subscriber. I hope you enjoyed this little gab session. I know in the real world I go on and on forever, so I'm going to stop here now for your mercy's sake. Take care, subscribers, and know that when I'm talking to M Soul, I mean it to be you, my listeners. I couldn't think of another name to give my guild or group or clan. I'm still debating that. And while M Soul, when I talk to it, it's supposed to be my soul inside this world, I do mean it to be my listeners out there. And I'm not sure yet how to cross that boundary or how to differentiate it, or if it's understood that you are my precious mortal soul. And I'll give you a different video about why I say mortal instead of immortal. It's a very ancient Roman idea, and I love ancient Rome. It fascinates me, as you can tell by many of the photos I use in my video clips. But anyways, that's enough. I raise my glass. I thank you so very much, and I drink this clean, fresh water to you. And believe me, that's valuable because in places that I've lived, there hasn't been clean water. The water could make you sick. The water's almost killed me. The water can carry contaminants, diseases, and blood leeches. You name it. I've been through it. My body's been through it. I'm just so grateful to be here. And I want you to know I'm grateful that you're here with me. Take care, everybody. And I wish you health. See you out there.